Well, I think you'd have to be living under a rock if you haven't heard Anthony Oliver's Rich Man North of Richmond. The song has really taken the world by storm. But here's one thing that I've spent a lot of time thinking about. I'm not so sure this has ever been done before. I don't think there's ever been one particular artist, or definitely one particular song, that has really spoken across all generations. That's what this song has done. You know, people of my generation are finding our meaning in that song based upon our life's experiences. But I've got a 19-year-old son. I've actually got quite a few kids. I got 5 of them. But my 19-year-old son said to me the other day, he said, "Had you heard that song?" I said, "Yeah, of course I've heard it. I think it's fantastic." And he says, "You would not believe that song has taken his generation by storm," those were his words. And I think if you think about the power of something like that, it is so significant because if anything, it gives me hope. I've always been an optimistic kind of guy. I've always believed in music. It's always going through cycles and things like that. But it's also the stereotypical worldwide language. Everyone can identify and relate to a great song. But the thing for me in this particular song is the lyrics. The lyrics really speak to the heart of the way people feel. That is a hard thing to accomplish. It genuinely is a hard thing to accomplish. 2, the way that song is sang, the man singing that song and wrote that song believes every word in that song, and it comes across very strongly to me when I'm listening/watching it. And I think you put those things together and you put a song that it's in a simplistic form. It doesn't need this massive arrangement around it. It doesn't need anything but one guy, a guitar, and a little bit of reverb, and you're good to go. But most of us dream of being able to create something that has that type of impact. Who knows what's next? And who knows what's next for him? We all know that the greedy people are going to start coming in, and the powerful people are going to come in and figure out how would he capitalize on this, and how do we capitalize on it? And then they're not going to let him be him if he chooses to go down that road. I think I've already heard he's already turned down an $8 million potential contract, saying no to it. So it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. But whether or not he's able to continue in that tradition and be able to stay as genuine as he is today, well, time will tell. I don't think it matters, though. I think the song has made its impact. And what you're going to see now, and you're already starting to see it on social media, there's going to be a lot of copycats trying to do something similar to try to catch and ride that next wave. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but we're going to see that. And who knows what we'll get out of that. We may get a whole slew of songs that really turn the world upside down and really hit to us emotionally and really get to the core of the way we are feeling, regardless of what your age, whether you're in your 50s or whether you're in your teens or somewhere in between. When you can find a song that everyone can enjoy and everyone can relate to, that truly is special. So I think all of you that do what you do and do what I do, we're involved in this creation of music. Whether or not we're the guy behind the dials and the knobs and the faders, and maybe we're not a musician and maybe we're not a songwriter, but we're helping that person capture their art, or whether we're wearing dual hats, whether, like myself, I'm a musician, I enjoy playing, I enjoy writing and doing all of those things. And so we have the ability to help people create, all right? And then in turns, we have the tools to be able to help us be creative. And I think that hopefully inspires everyone out there to really dig down deep and not try to write a song like somebody else. Try to write your song. Try to create your song that has meaning to you, that you feel like there are other people like you that feel that same way. When you look at Bruce Springsteen back in the 70s, he really spoke for the average man and has continued to do so throughout his career. Now, lately, you could argue that he's more of a political guy, whatever. I'm not here to judge anyone's political beliefs. But when you start to get fame and money, it's hard to go back and relate to the struggles of life. And so that's one of the things that this man has touched on. And quite frankly, it says a lot, not only about America, but about the world, that the corporate conglomerate out there has really squeezed the living pennies out of every hardworking man and woman to to create that almighty dollar of profit for their shareholders so their CEOs can make tens of millions of dollars a year. And that is a sad state of things. That's the downside to capitalism. There are plenty of upsides, and I don't want to get into that discussion with you guys, but because I happen to be a beneficiary of the upsides of capitalism. But I also know, too, that companies really, they like to say they care about their people, but they really don't. They care about what their people can do for them more than anything else. That's not every company. Maybe yours doesn't do that. But the bottom line is, every company wants to pay as little as they can to get the most productivity they can and not a cent more. And it's hard to make a living wage on that these days. Very hard for families. And that's what I think this song has touched on more than anything else. And whether you're a guy my age who has struggled many times throughout his journey and getting to this point right now, with money and finances and jobs and things like that, to where you're a young person now just trying to start out and just make a name for yourself. You want to know that you've got a shot. You want to know you've got an opportunity. So again, that's really kind of the theme of that song, but there's so many things going on in this world that you can really write about, but just do whatever you can to, when you write it, make sure it's something you truly, genuinely believe and you feel and you are convicted about it. And if you can get a great melody to it and be able to present it in a way that people enjoy it, you probably got a good shot out there, certainly better than most others. So anyway, I hope you kind of liked what we're talking about here today. And if you have been living under a rock and you haven't seen this video, this music video of Anthony Oliver singing this song, I encourage you to go watch it. It's very easy to find. And I think you'll like it if you haven't seen it. But then again, I know if you're watching this, you've already seen it. So anyway, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Leave me some comments down below. Tell me what you think about this. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.